Spring is in the air and the orchids are in bloom. With that come busy bees who are hoping to spread flowers around, and you, a famous beekeeper, are going to help them and maybe make some honey along the way, all in service to the queen bee. This is Queens, which was designed by Bruno Catala and Johannes Gupi and published by Mandu Games, who helped sponsor this video, with Rio Grande Games handling English distribution. Hey everyone, my name is Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murph. I'm here at Board Game Geek and the bees are already abuzz. Let's get down to the table to go a little more in focus on Queens. Queens is a set collection area building game where you will be playing a beekeeper trying to build fields of different colored orchids to produce as much honey as possible. Along the way, you may set up a hive or two as a cozy home, hoping to attract some buzzing bees. There will be a central garden where you can pick orchids, hoping to add them to your field. Whichever row or column the gardener is standing at will dictate where you can pick orchids from. You may pick 1, 2, or 3 orchid tokens. If you choose 1, you can pick any orchid you like, but if you choose 2, neither orchid can contain any bees. And if you pick 3 orchids, there can be no bees and you must select different colored orchids each time. Your newly collected orchid tokens will be placed on your player board to be relocated to a field. The gardener will move around the garden based on how many orchids you just took. The rows and columns will remain empty until the gardener stops in front of a completely empty row or column, which will score that player a victory point and the orchids will refill. Once you have some orchids, I think it's time to get planting. Bees are looking for new fields to call home. Instead of taking new orchid tokens, you may fill one field using orchids in your supply. First, you must choose one of the available fields, then you must fill it completely with orchids and/or hives, preferably placing your hives near lots of bees. Anytime you create or enlarge fields, you will check to see if honey was produced. If you have 2 or more of the same color orchid next to each other, you will produce honey and it will score a point for each connected orchid in the group. If this is your first time making a match of a color, you will take that color of honey pot and place it on your player board. If you successfully make honey of all 5 colors, you gain the Diversified Production achievement worth points at the end of the game. In the future, if you enlarge an area of orchids with a matching color, they will score again. Now this game wouldn't be Queens without a queen bee. Any orchid containing exactly 1 bee is a queen. If you take this orchid, you may choose to immediately swap it with one of your orchids in a field. This won't trigger scoring, but may help you when building orchid groups in the future. The game will end once a beekeeper has placed a 5th field, at which point all other players will get 1 more turn to collect orchids or fill fields. At the game's end, players will score points if they receive the Diversified Production achievement. They will then score points for any bees in the 8 spaces adjacent to a hive. If bees are adjacent to multiple hives, they score multiple times. Once players have collected points for their hives, diversity production, and honey, the player with the most points will be the most buzzed about and is the winner. Queens is a set collection puzzle. Of course, you want to get tons of the same colored orchids so you can build huge groups, but you also want to get bees so you can place them next to hives. But maybe you also want to get small groups of lots of different colored orchids so you can get the Diversified Production bonus. There are many ways to score, and it's going to be up to you to decide which way is best if you try out Queens. And if you're interested in learning more about Queens, consider checking out his page at BoardGameGeek.com, where you can find reviews, playthroughs, and more. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy. I've been here at Board Game Geek, and we've been going in focus on Queens. Have a great day.